I think right now there's a richness that's being cultivated in a lot of people's minds. It's not just, it is definitely part of development happening, but I think that there's an openness to a lot of different things, whether it's public art or public music or events happening downtown. There's a lot more people that are receptive to it, I believe, because they've wanted it for a while. Just has been a lot of people that are against it. And if you try to present a good idea around a group of people and the majority are really not supportive, it's going to be that much harder to create it and make it happen. So now there's just kind of like that wave of people that are just making it happen.
Drinking espresso today.
Like ooh, you're gonna get a fucking hobnailed boot to the ass in about a half hour.
A hobnailed boot to the ass. Yeah. Hobnail.
Steel toe fucking kick in the rectum.
Bring it on. Good old steel toe wake up call to the rectum.
I've been hydrating. See, I've been hydrating with H2O. I find that it's the purest of liquids.
No, you're wrong about that. You know why? Because bleach is the purest of all liquids. And you should be drinking bleach. Disclaimer, you shouldn't drink bleach.
Oh, he said he's in. He's waiting to be let in.
There he is. There is.
Hey.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
What's up?
How's it going?
What's good?
It's going, man. It's going.
Excellent.
I can't complain. Yeah. It could be a lot worse. People have it a lot worse. That's for sure, man. How about yourself?
Absolutely.
How you guys doing?
I'm furloughed until the end of June, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what I have, you know.
No doubt. How about you, man? That's a cool background, man.
Thanks, man. That's actually the cover of our album, Mariana, but it's also the podcast cover. So now it has two functions. Now I have a digital background.
Branding. That works.
It looks cool. Yeah. So now, yeah. But now just hanging in there, you know, just, experience the unemployment life, being, sponsored by the state. I get these checks once in a while that keep me afloat. So I guess I can't complain too much.
Well, I guess we could say it's actually sponsored by us. You know, we all sponsor it.
Yeah.
We sponsor it for times like this.
I think in the long run, we're all going to get screwed, because $600 free money just sounds like there's a catch, like I can't believe that it's all going to be good coming out of this. Like
when I saw that on mine, it was like, here's what you're getting. And then here's more money on top of that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get fucked at some point.
Oh yeah, I think we're
conditioned to think that things are too good to be true. I try to be an optimist as much as possible, but I'm sometimes a pessimistic optimist where I see things as fucked up and as surreal as it is, but also say, wait, this could be something better. I think it depends on how it's shaped politically.
Yeah, for sure. I like to take the optimist route whenever possible, but when we have a president suggesting drinking bleach is a good idea, it's hard to do that these days.
I saw so many headlines of that, and I almost didn't take the bait. I said, I'm going to go directly to the source, watch the briefing, which is...
I know. That's what I do. I'm like, let me see for myself. And I watched it, like...
And then when you hear it and you go, okay, this should be discussed among experts, and the commentary should be kept off of the briefing.
It's like, I can't really defend that. I'm looking like, maybe he said, no, nah. Just
that happens.
Very irresponsible commentary, banter, and then it's like, I said it sarcastically to reporters like you. Like, you're the fucking president. Shouldn't you consider that your words have some weight to them? And
I don't know if the White House press briefings are the best avenue or vehicle right now, or they're even the best time for sarcasm like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. What sarcasm? That's
a really poorly timed joke. It's too soon. Definitely.
Yeah. I think it's officially too soon since we're still in it. Usually
this is going to become the hashtag too soon movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Too soon, but we're still in it.
So Justice Bourne, he's here with us. I met you once, I think, physically. I think it was at White Rose Coffee House way back when.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I missed that place.
Yeah, my buddy Pat Nelson. He said, I want to introduce you to this guy when we talked for.
Cool. Yeah. Yep. That's my homie.
But, yep. So we talked a bit, and I know that you live in Lynn, and my wife's from Lynn, so I know a lot of people from Lynn, and I know you have the rec shop movement, which is just a really cool thing, and I just wanted you to talk about that because it's got so many different avenues about it, and so many different cool things about it. Could you just give us like just a brief just explanation of kind of like what you're doing with it and everything and what it's about?
Yep, absolutely. To give you a brief synopsis, kind of how it all started. It started as a workshop. I used to teach a couple kids out here, about a handful, at Club America. It was a youth center that used to exist on Monroe Street, right where the Land of a Thousand Hills coffee is right now. It's yeah, so it's not Club America anymore, but that's where Rec Shop started as a workshop, and then it evolved into a showcase. Then after a series of showcases, it started evolving into a movement. When I say a movement, I mean it started not just organizing events, like we organized events with purpose, we organized them with intention, and we built them around community. So sometimes we might do an open mic and we would do a food drive, or we would do like a clothing drive, canned food drive. Sometimes we'd raise money for different causes, different nonprofits, stuff like that. So at this phase, it's evolved into, it's still a movement. It's evolved into something that's growing, that we can scale on a global level. Obviously, this pandemic has slowed a lot of things down. So we're trying to adapt to how does a movement operate virtually? And these are prime examples of it right here, using Zoom and other video conferencing tools. So this is kind of where we're trying to also come together like you guys are, bring guests on to talk about, you know, their brands, talk about music, talk about things in their community and things that are going on around us. So
right on.
It's amazing. So yeah, I always see like you post about certain events and stuff, and just the fact that you brought up like food drives, like that's just so important. And I feel like a lot of people bypass that. But you know, and I feel like, I don't know, I always go through this weird thing in my brain where I'm like, I want to go and do something that's helpful, but I don't want to be filmed doing it, because I hate those videos sometimes of like people who have a phone up to there, like, I'm feeding this homeless guy. See the credit? Give me the credit.
totally
like,
get it. Yeah.
You know, like, why can't you just go out and do something just because you want to? So I have that thing in me where I'm like, do I do it because, you know what I mean?
I have mixed feelings about it too, because there's two ways that I look at it. One is you can do plenty of good in secret, you know. The only reason you should be doing it for a video, I think, is to shine a light, especially in dark times. It can inspire people. I know I've personally seen certain videos and been like, this is too much. This is corny. This is a bunch of self-high fives and pats on the back. Then seen some videos where I was like, damn, that's something else. That's really cool. Like that made me think about how to think outside of the box than just doing like a food drive. You know what I mean? For a while, like for a couple of years, we did hoodies for the homeless. Like the hoodies that I'm wearing right now, what we would do is for every purchase, we would donate one to a homeless person. There wasn't a particular organization that we would donate to. Sometimes we would drop a box or a few boxes at a shelter. Sometimes we would just go out and hand them out to people on our way to events, typically, because we're always passing by homeless people. So we like see somebody outside and give them a hoodie, and wouldn't really take a photo, wouldn't do a video or nothing like that. That was kind of our doing good in secret. But we did make a campaign of it so people could feel good about buying a hoodie and knowing that it was also keeping somebody else warm at the same time. So I have mixed feelings, but I think it depends on how you go about it.
No, I think you got it.
It sounds like you're doing it right, man. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
that's a really that's like the perfect balance. Like you do things on the side, whatever, but you also have to be public about it too, because you need to spread the message so other people can get on board. So
I think that's how we learn from a lot of things. If we're not going to pick up a book or learn it online, or even, you know, say social media, online could be Google, could be YouTube. I think public relations and how the public is aware of what's going on around them comes in different forms. You know, sometimes it has to be a brand saying, here's why our brand is doing this or doing
right.
X.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. There's definitely
like this, I think it's important, especially. We've kind of been ahead of that curve anyways. It's always been about, why are we selling this product? You know, and can we go even further than just selling a product? Can we create an experience or create some sort of community around it?
Definitely. What's what's like a good if you want to shout out a website, your guys' website to go on, or any kind of social media that people can
the website, it's also under construction right now. It's pretty basic, but we do have a lot of Massachusetts hip hop events. I think it's one of the prime sources for event listings if you're looking for hip hop, reggae, R&B events.
Nice.
More so hip hop and R&B, it's recshopmovement.com.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go there and find a bunch of buttons that don't work right now. I apologize for that, but that's being developed during this downtime.
And you guys have Facebook as well that people can go to?
Yeah, we're also at Rec Shop Movement on Facebook. Pretty much all platforms that you can find us, either Rec Shop Movement or Rec Shop 101. The 101 is kind of just an ode to our humble beginnings, starting off as a workshop. It's just
sweet.
The way and how we do it. Yeah.
Yeah, what we'll post all the links. I'll even put a little caption in the video too, so people know where to go if they want to participate. For sure.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said before. You said that you guys are, you're trying to figure out how to make things work in a digital world. And I'm wondering, I know for me specifically,
Sounds like I'm just learning how to use a VCR.
No, I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
Because like we have, as humans, like we have the internet right at our fingers, and a lot of people just don't use it right. You know what I mean? Like, Facebook was meant to like connect with your college buddies, and that was how it started. Now it's just way bigger and addictive to some people.
Yeah.
But if it's used right, it can be really powerful and work really well. But it's same thing. Like I've been home for 2.5 weeks now, and I'm like, how can I make all the negatives into positives in my life? Sitting on the couch all day, can I get up and work out and stuff and eat better and things like that? But I wonder if you discovered anything different since you've been doing it digitally, like you found like a different avenue or like a different way to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely kind of late in the game for us to get involved in video conferencing. I personally prefer in-person connections. So I think a lot of people do, but I also know a lot of people that they're okay with this whole distancing thing anyways. They've been okay with that, They like the music, they're involved in the music business, but they're not antisocial, but they're just not as social. They're not super social. For me, I always prefer being in person. So people would be like, hey, let's do a FaceTime or do a video chat. And I'd usually not be interested. Or even a phone call. It's like, let's talk real quick so we can meet up and we can do something in person. Like, let's grab a drink. Let's grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's bring one down and talk in person. But
I think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I was just saying once this all wraps up, I think we'll definitely consider doing like in-person meetups, like a actual proper podcast setup instead of the online.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's what these are good for, is building, still building, like, I don't want to say a virtual community, but using a virtual platform to continue building community and also to continue a momentum, So that's really what we're trying to do now, is how to continue the momentum that we've had, which is such an in-person dynamic, It's not just an event where people think you can just take an event that's happening in person and put it online. There's a lot of the experience that's removed from that and the connection. So how to adapt to that, that's the learning curve right there. We're still trying to figure it out.
Definitely.
Honestly, like when we were thinking about different people to get on here, not that a lot of people watch this because we're just taking off. We don't know where it's going to go, but at the very least we figure connect people. But the first thing I thought of was like, I thought of the word community, and I was thinking like music community, no matter what genre it is, we're still all in the arts in a lot of ways. And I wanted to connect people. But when I thought of the word community, I thought of you immediately. And I was like, the Rec Shop movement is
thank you, man.
Community. It's community. It's like you're getting all these people together to be involved in this movement. And the movement may be whatever happens, like the food drive, just getting together for an event, just coming to you. I know you have posts where like, if anybody wants to come help out for this event, like it's just great if somebody has nothing to do, like go meet some people, because it's also like a networking thing too, which is so cool. And I think networking, especially in this area, is so interesting. There's so many different personalities, and I know I don't know what it is about Lynn, but like I feel like Lynn just completely, maybe the word makeover is not a good word, because when I was younger it had a bad rap, but Lynn always had a bad rap. But I feel like now it's an artsy town with a lot of great people. And it needs to be out there more. Like I know Salem is something different, but Lynn's becoming a powerhouse. It's I don't know. I mean, you live there.
I'm happy to hear that. It's nice to hear that. I think part of the reason why it's been held back is that reputation.
Right.
Some people take pride in a poor reputation. I think right now there's a richness that's being cultivated in a lot of people's minds. It's not just. It is definitely part of development happening, but I think that there's an openness to a lot of different things, whether it's public art or public music or events happening downtown. There's a lot more people that are receptive to it, I believe, because they've wanted it for a while. Just has been a lot of people that are against it. And if you try to present a good idea around a group of people and the majority are really not supportive, it's going to be that much harder to create it and make it happen. So now there's just kind of like that wave of people that are just making it happen. So now people are talking about it. The branding, the rebranding. I know you said makeover. I think it's kind of like a rebranding, essentially almost like a makeover. I kind of look at it as a reintroduction to say, yeah, this is what Lynn is. This is where we came from. Every city, every town has its history, but we can also shape our future. And that's the part about the open-mindedness I like to see, because creators and community organizers are working kind of in alignment with artists, to shape that.
It's interesting you said people like are against some of these ideas we're talking about. Well, why would someone be against like bringing more arts to the community in Lynn, do you think?
I don't know. It's funny. I read some comments on Facebook, and I try not to go too far down that rabbit hole. But
Yep.
some people are against air. You know, some people are against music. I can't figure that out. I don't really want to spend time trying to figure it out. But what I can say is, when we did a block party, the first food truck art and music festival that was on Mount Vernon Street down at the Ironbound Marketplace, and we did that in 2018 in April, I believe. Yeah, it was April. We had so many different people from the community come out there, from like the affluent sections of Lynn, the different parts of Lynn that are not so well off, that are usually ignored. Everybody coming together on one street, and the vibe was just amazing, and the community was something that, like, it really reflected the city, and it opened up people's mind, I think, to say we can have this and we can do this more. Where some people thought that was a once in a lifetime thing and it can't happen again for whatever reason. There's just pessimists and optimists in every group, you know?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
you know
like,
it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Steve.
no, I was gonna say, it's funny, like these, despite the negativity, you still get those good turnouts, and I'm kind of inclined to believe that there are more people in support that don't necessarily voice their opinions as loudly as others. Maybe it's just
Yep.
the those people have louder voices for whatever reason, and the people who support it,
True.
it's got other stuff going on. They don't necessarily take that activist stand or whatever viewpoint. So I actually think there's more people out there that support it, and that's the point of this podcast. Is we want to kind of bring those people out of the shadows, so to speak, and kind of like start building a community. Because, like, we always talk about, remember, like, in high school, I remember there was like a scene, it was like even in the 90s, before, it was like whatever, pre-internet, you get like Seattle had its own scene, New York had these incubation things before the internet. So the internet kind of, like, I don't know, brought everybody together, and in a way it kind of like made everything a little more similar, whereas before you had these very unique spots of the country that was kind of isolated. But I don't know, it's I think what we want, our main point here is we're trying to build that community, because we think there's like a lacking of that, especially today. So I think that's what,
besides what you do, because I think what you're doing is great. That's why I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
But
sure.
look,
Thank you. I'm a small piece of it. Where I'm seeing right now, there's like I don't know if zeitgeist is the right word, but there's definitely a spirit among different grassroots groups, different movements, doing very similar things. Some are locking arms, and they're doing this work together. So it's really great to see that. It's unfortunate that it takes crisis like this for the money machine to start printing, and for people to lock arms and do what, not that a lot of us have been doing it anyways, but I think now it's just a concentrated focus. It's like, it's the last quarter, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I grew up in Saugus, and I remember there was always a stigma about Lynn, and I don't know why or where it started. Maybe my dad worked at the post office for 25 years in Lynn, so he would tell me stories and stuff. But I remember when I finally got there as like an adult, and I started working at a White Rose for a short period of time just to help out my buddy and stuff. And I remember how comfortable I was at White Rose, and I was like, and then across the street, there was some people making, I think it was some sort of classes. They were making sculptures and doing some sort of art. And then I saw art under the tunnel. There was that little tunnel area where there's a lot of art. And then down the street, I heard a band jamming in a building. There was a jam space. And then Bentwater Brewery, all these different places that are so cool. And like, I'm like, people get the wrong idea. Lynn is a hip town, and it's going to get.
I got Bentwater in my fridge right now. So
yeah.
Hell yeah, definitely.
It's just, I don't know. I just, a place like Salem, I used to go there, and I used to say, I feel like home when I'm in Salem. But when I'm in Lynn, it's just like, it's just right. It's right there. It's right there. And it's going to keep expanding. And somebody like you is so, you push this town to a different direction.
I don't really take this whole geographical pride thing to heart. Like, some people are just like, oh, Massachusetts pride or whatever. I think it's really about what work are you putting in, or what work are the people around you putting in. And I can say that the people around me, they're superheroes in plain clothes. These are people that are doing incredible work. So for me to even be around them, there's a sense of that collective pride. So I get that in the city, because like I said, there's that zeitgeist of people right now that says, yeah, we can do this. We can reshape, we can redefine the city. We can have nice things. A lot of times people looked at Lynn as they can't have nice things. They'll destroy it. And one example is for the Street Soul public music program that I started also in 2018, which, that became a program and ended up getting a couple grants from the Lynn Cultural Council. And we put pianos outside downtown, and people commented a mix of reactions like, someone's going to destroy it. People's first thought was someone's going to destroy it. And it's like, what do you do if someone destroys it? Well, we get rid of it and then we have to get another one. That's unfortunate, but build to destroy, that's a cycle,
That reminds me of something I saw. It was a video of, I don't know where it was, but it was somebody was making this like unbelievably beautiful art on some wall. And then every night somebody would go and graffiti it and ruin it. And that same artist would just go back the next day and do a new painting over it. And the cycle would just keep going, kind of like, you're not going to destroy art as much as you think you are. I'm just going to keep going at it. And I think that's for me is what like you're doing, what Lynn is doing is like.
What could help too in a situation like that is a surveillance camera or somebody seeing that and be like, hey, hold on, let's have a conversation. Because there's got to be some reason. Somebody's either doing that to be funny, they're doing it out of spite, or, we see in Lynn, especially downtown, a lot of people with mental health issues. Right. So it's not always like the same thing that we think it's a bad kid. Right. Sometimes it can be, who knows, that maybe that kid's not bad. He might have he's getting beaten at home or something. And he gets out and he sees this nice thing and he don't think. You don't know better, so he just
that too. Got to consider the background.
I think at least I'd like to find out who's destroying nice things and go, what's going on?
Right.
I like that viewpoint. It's like most people would be like, call the cops, lock them up, kind of thing. But like what you just said.
If anything, if the cops could grab him and like talk some sense into him, like, what are you doing?
First line of defense. Like, like what's going on? Why are you doing this?
Maybe they need to get involved in something where they can get that aggression out. Get involved in like martial arts or boxing or art. Maybe art can help them get that aggression out.
Kid probably just needs like a mentor. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's so important. Like, 100%. Can you imagine all these kids growing up that have bad family, bad relationships at home, and they go out into the world and still being treated badly, but there's some people out there that can be like, hey, I care about you, I can help you, let's talk. And to just sit down with one person and just give them like, hey, I really care, let's talk, I think you'd be good at this, and it could just make their brain change, just connect a couple of cables in their minds.
I think that's kind of what helped shape my thinking, is because I had great mentors. My mentors are really within the hip-hop community. And one thing I learned about hip hop culture is that it's something that established, from nothing and became this global community. So I can understand where certain people within hip hop have found an avenue. They found a vehicle to get that aggression out. If hip hop wasn't there, a lot of them probably wouldn't have that. And I don't think that there's those types of people that are exclusive to just hip hop. There's probably other people out there that haven't found an avenue yet. We obviously have to suffer the consequence of that by either not creating enough avenues or at least talking about creating these alternatives to just destruction and demolition.
Dude, that's huge. That's such an important way to do it too. It's like you're kind of talking about like building instead of destruction. And I feel like there's just more destruction in society these days, than
there's a time and a place. Like I definitely want to make it clear, like even in the name Wreck Shop movement, there's been opportunities that were lost because the name sounded destructive. And then we had to explain to them, recondition their mind to say that not everything that's destroyed is a negative thing. It depends on what and how. If you're destroying negative stereotypes and stigmas and you're smashing barriers and obstacles, these can be very positives in a person's growth. It could be a positive for artistic or human growth. So it's just the way we look at it, and we condition ourselves to use the terms. Obviously, destroying things that help people, that's not helping anybody, but a small group of people. So those that have some optimism, I think we have to figure out creatively ways to create platforms and opportunities for people.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think for a while, even what we do, like our music is
I was just going to say that, you guys being musicians, like you guys could teach someone how to play music. Right.
I was going to say, this is really strange. This is really odd, but like, I think, I keep going back to this whole human nature thing where like, I have wants.
That's what we have to go back to.
I have wants and needs, and I'm always like, let's climb the ladder, guys. And I got to the point where I wanted to break the ladder and just be happy with what I'm doing. And I remember there was one specific moment where we were playing out at a place, and after the show, some kid came up to us who I didn't know. And he was like, I'm thinking about starting a band. And he's like, I really like what you guys are doing. And he like looked at like Steve's bass pedals and what are these? What's that? And we were teaching him just some of the things that we know. And if that kid the next day just like, I bought an electric guitar, I'm going to start. And just that, it's almost like Inception, but in real life, not dreaming. Right. It's like, if I don't consider myself a good musician by any means. I don't care about that stuff. I just like doing it. I have fun. If that kid went home,
I enjoyed you guys' music. I was jamming to it the other night and today a little
thanks.
bit.
But like, I just feel like if that kid just picked up a guitar and was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna start this, and I'm really excited. Just that one little moment was like good enough for me that I
Right.
just talked to somebody and they just thought, you know what I mean? It's the same thing for me. Like my dad was a bass player and my mom's a piano teacher, and one day I got into music and I was thankful for it. But you know, it's just incredible. I'm sure.
And here's a
you've
prime
met,
example, because if you're having that experience, you're turning you have a moment there, and then you share that experience not just with me or in the podcast, but you put the content out, and that may inspire another musician. So that kind of essentially turns moments into movements, you know.
Right.
Dude, this
I
is
love
like
that word.
really.
I love that movement
This is
word. I love
really,
it.
yeah, it's really cool. Like this is just like really getting me excited about like I'm really
Right.
starting to think about how I can get involved, because like I'm always thinking about like, what people offer, like what can I do with my life, and like helping like young people like get inspired. I think that's like the most important thing, because
I have some friends that are mentoring in Lawrence, and they're part of I don't know the name of the program. I have one friend that works for volunteers for Big Brother Big Sister, and another friend that works for another agency in Lawrence. I can connect you guys with them if you guys are interested after the call, because I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Definitely.
I know they're always looking for
it,
mentors, and whether that's in the music space or otherwise. So I'm sure you guys have other skills and life experiences to share.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just like such
I'd love to. Yeah.
such a like a cool, like what more good can you do than to help these kids, young adults, whatever, get through hard times? Because like the common denominator here is like like you said before, the guy who goes and graffitis the artwork. Maybe he just didn't have a mentor. Maybe he just has a very bad living situation, and he doesn't have that support network. And all it takes is someone to believe in that kid, and he doesn't do it anymore. Instead of throwing the book at him, the law at him.
Right.
Maybe that's not what he needs. He needs just someone that believes in him. It's something so simple that can, you get the negative part where he gets treated bad at home, and then he that in turn makes him destructive in the real world. But if you inverse that and you make you introduce positivity in that kid's life, he will then turn positivity in the real world. It's just like it's exponential. It kind of like you know what I mean. It just it reverberates out. The energy goes in and it comes out.
That's where I think each person have to create some sort of, whether it's their passion or their skill set or their thought process, and that's internal. If that's a mess, anything that comes outside of that's going to bring a disaster to the rest of us.
Yeah.
People talk about like faith and, people talk about faith in religions. Like it's always about faith in religion. What about faith in each other? Like when someone says like I have faith in you, or like that's powerful. You tell a kid I have faith in you to go do this. Whatever you need, I'll help you with. Like that's huge. It almost makes me want to cry to think that like some kids don't have that. Like that's it bothers me.
And like I said, it's something so simple, but people, I feel like if we could somehow channel into the minds of everybody in the world, like how the kids are being raised and how the kids feel, I bet you we'd see a huge majority of these kids not getting support network, just the simple support network and words of confidence that they crave for. You know what I mean? And it's just, I feel like when you look at kids that they get proper support and they're just like come from a good home, they're way more likely to be successful because of that positive environment. It's not nothing really to do.
Yeah, I love those videos where the teacher is like giving everybody like a special handshake before.
Yeah, I love that. I love those videos.
Those videos make me so happy because like every kid gets their own special like thing. It's like it's important. But so I'm sure you met like hundreds of hip hop artists over the last couple of years, or as long as you've been doing it. Any favorites of their music? Like any music that just stands out to you that like, wow, this person started from here, just out here.
Favorites that like that I've met, like just favorite people or favorite music?
Just people you've met that. Yeah, just in general, like some people that you've met that you just want to like go listen to their music, because I'd love to.
I definitely have a recommendation. I got a couple off the top of my head. Like obviously, I have a lot of friends that make music. One that I could say I've been very impressed with is Justin Clancy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but check out Justin Clancy. He's got some great videos on YouTube. Great song content. He's a great songwriter, singer, artist overall, and he's come a long way. Used to be a heroin addict, and he's really like put his life together.
Wow.
And I know he's not using his music to be like just recovery music, but when you listen to his music, you'll definitely feel that it has a healing component to it, for sure.
Wow.
And I've seen him rap, not sing. I never even knew that he was capable of all of this, but seeing him since he was I don't know how old he was, like teenager, you know what I mean? Of knowing of him, not knowing him personally, then meeting him, being like, okay, cool, he's pretty good as a rapper. And then just seeing that trajectory, it's like he went to outer space, came back, suited up, like, I'm ready to do this. And, so yeah, him, I'm very impressed with him. Every time he drops a song, like I anticipate new music from him, and I would listen to a full album. There's not a lot of artists I can say that about. You know, I skip a lot of songs. I skip through a lot of music. So people just rush, I think, sometimes to put albums out. And I wouldn't want to discourage anybody from doing what their spirit calls them to do. But I also know that there's only so much people can consume at a time, you know? And if you're anticipating something from an artist, you'll set aside time. Like, I'm going to take an hour to listen to this Nas album. If he came out with an album right now, or, you know, anything from Griselda Records, you know, some West Side Gun or something like that, I'd be like, all right, let me check that out now. So.
I feel like we hit on something there, because I feel like people's attention spans, you know, like me and Steve, we're different. I'm obsessed with records and albums. Like I can listen. I'm a different breed, but I can understand that this is the generation of like the EP. I feel like it makes more sense nowadays to record a 3 or 4 song EP and put that out. It's much more digestible for people. Like, oh, they got a couple of songs here I can listen to, not 9 or 10, which is like now it's a project for me to listen to, you know. But
it is. Like there's artists that, just to kind of piggyback off the last comment about artists that have made a major impression, and I'm definitely like really proud of where they've gone with their music, is ST-Nack. He's also from Lynn. He's an incredible artist. He also makes beats, but he produces under another name. But yeah, I could say artists that are putting music out there just to put it out there without rhyme or reason, just because they feel like they have a pipeline of people that are listening to it, do that, you know? But there's a lot of music, I think, that just doesn't get listened to. It gets skipped, and artists aren't really sure of what's working or what's not. But when you identify something that's working, at least now you know. Some artists won't even follow that formula. If they know that every time I put songs out with this type of beat, I start getting some traction. Or if I put out shorter songs, I start getting more listens than if my song's 3.5 minutes long. Like, why is this happening? And the rhyme and reason between each artist is different, you know? Like an artist like ST-Nack, he could just keep flooding music out there and people will eat it up. If he drops an album, people will set aside time to listen to that full project, you know? I think it depends on the artist. It depends on, you know, the fan base as well, how they cultivate their fan base.
Right, absolutely. Definitely. So do you dabble in hip hop as well?
Like rap?
Yeah, do you rap at all?
I've been seen on video. I don't know how it happens. It's kind of like a Blue Moon type of thing. No, that's not my forte. I do that for fun once in a while.
For fun, okay.
I hang around with so many rappers, so it just kind of happens. But
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Usually when the camera's on, I'm like, put that down.
Do you guys? Oh, sorry, Daryl. I was gonna say, you guys, with the rec shop movement, it's strictly hip hop. Do you get any other kind of music, or is it just hip hop focused?
It's hip hop is the force, you know, but hip hop is an evolution of everything that's come before musically, you know.
Well, I was gonna say, it was cool. Another theme we do here is like we like to talk about collaboration with other artists.
Absolutely,
especially hip. Well, you wouldn't think. You know, I mean, just look at you know, the Roots. All
absolutely.
Combining hip hop and like a funk band. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've done that plenty of times. We love doing that. We've collaborated with a lot of different types of musicians. We've collaborated. I don't know if you've seen any of the Subway Cypher videos, but we've had harp players. We've had people playing upright bass, harmonica.
That's sweet, dude. That's like instruments. Because I play bass, and I just love like, you know, I'm sure you know Erykah Badu.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, she's more neo soul. When maybe not straight. It's not hip hop, maybe necessarily, but her band is so sick. It's like the bass. Every time I hear the bass player, it's just like, oh my god. And then you get Erykah Badu. Her vocals are amazing, and just maybe one example of like how the band can really.
We don't really want to put a boundary on it when it comes down to the type of music that we'll work with. I could just say that there's more types of music that we are usually around. And it's more common is hip hop and R&B. That's kind of our lane. But we've also done events and we've done collaborations with reggae artists. You know, there's some crossover. I think the crossover is usually cannabis, to be honest.
Oh, really?
So that usually brings together a lot of different types of genres of music. We did a festival at Salem Willows for about 6 or 7 years, and we brought together country bands, rock bands, jazz, hip hop, spoken word. We brought together everything.
Do you guys do that every year, or is that just a?
We're doing that, and we paused that for a little bit, regrouping, re-strategizing for where's going to be the next place.
Yeah.
Very interested in bringing that festival to Lynn, but we'll see how things look.
Let us know, man. If we can help out or participate in any way, we'd be happy to join, because that's
awesome.
You know, we like that.
I'm glad you brought up cannabis, because I used to live in Saugus and very close to Lynn. And I know that right now there's a closed down restaurant called O'Brien's. And I guess it's considered Saugus, Lynn. I don't know what it's considered. Probably Lynn. But I heard it's becoming a weed dispensary and a Bianchi's Pizza. And I heard there was like pushback. Like, I guess it was like Lynn who wanted it, and Saugus is giving pushback or something. And I'm like, this needs to happen.
Yeah, you said that's exactly what happened. There was a legal battle. You know, there was a battle between the cities, the city councils. You know, and then there was legal battles between, I think, their legal department and our cities, and of course private counsel for the owners of the dispensary. To my knowledge, it's a victory, and it's going to become a dispensary and a pizza joint. So
that is sweet.
And
the joint was just a Freudian slip.
I don't think I've ever had any better pizza personally than Bianchi's. When I used to have Bianchi's,
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That place is going to be Bianchi's and weed. Like, that's just, I mean.
Well, I don't know if that's the name of the pizza place, but I did hear that it was definitely going to be the dispensary, but there's going to be some concession I heard that they're making with the building, because a part of it, I don't know if it's the parking lot or if it's the actual building that's in the Saugus line. So I think that's one of the concessions that they're going to be able to make, is like, maybe, I don't cut that off. I don't want to say what exactly is going to happen, but I don't even know how that happens. How do you have property that's like in one city and another, but
right, it's like right on the border or something. But I know that, like, I remember, isn't that building like almost in the river? Like, I somebody told me that's like sliding into the river. Like the foundation's fucked.
I'm not sure. I just remember that there was a super controversy around that, and I was like, let's make it happen. It's not in Saugus. They don't want it right next door, but it's not like it's going to smell up their city, you know?
Right, exactly. Absolutely. But so I have a question. Okay, so this is artist that, because I remember you used to do Opus the Wednesday nights.
Yeah, Live from the Underground. Yep.
Yeah, and there was an artist there. I think his name was JB something. Does that sound familiar to you? JB. I can't remember his full name. He had a video where he played with a guitar player in the studio, and it's all hip hop, and it was just like freaking fantastic. And I can't remember the guy's name.
JB.
It was like two letters and then a last name, and he was there every Wednesday night. He was always there. Every time I saw a video that you post or you guys would post, he'd be there on the microphone, like going at it. It was so good.
I'm not sure. Maybe it'll come to me later. Like, damn, you got me thinking now. JB.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna check my phone real quick, because I know I messaged him before.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious too. I always love connecting with artists that I haven't seen in a while from different platforms that we had going for a while, because we've had some in Cambridge, you know, that was rocking for a while. A lot of the North Shore crowd didn't really come out there, but each time we do something in the city, it's not really for people who got a lot of money to travel and spend, so we try to do events that don't cost a lot of money, if anything at all, and people from that.
I found it. There. James EPB.
Oh yeah, jeez. Yeah,
that's what it is. Sorry, I got.
Yes, no, that's okay. That's okay. So what was your question about him?
That's
my friend. That's the whole
day. He's a man. I saw he was doing a video with some guitar player, and I forget the song. It was his song. You could tell that he wrote it.
Wondering who he was playing with. I'm not sure. God, we usually have a musician that's there, like, I'll fill in, I'll jump in. And that's one thing about people don't expect that about our movement, because they think it's going to be rappers get up there and they all want digital beats, when most of the time our artists or artists that are around us, we say, after you perform your song, you want to jam later? You want to have a cypher later? Like, I know musicians might call it a jam session. We call it a cypher. But we don't just want to put beats on. We want to have a beat maker while somebody is playing live instrumentation. We want to have that live element. Like you said, the roots, you know, it's bring it all together.
Or even like Mac Miller. Like, I remember I didn't even know who he was. And then because you know, a friend told me about him and I listened to him and I was like, he has a lot of jazz elements. Yeah, a lot of, like, you could tell that there's like a band playing behind him, like jazz chords and piano, and it was really melodic. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I was like, that's a really cool, like, mix.
That's the
music.
type of music I like, you know. I
Yeah.
appreciate a lot of different sounds within hip hop and music in general, but my personal favorite is very melodic music. Something that you could remove the lyrics to if they're not as meaningful, and you could just vibe out, listen to the melody. The instrument.
Right.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I got a question for you, and this is always a question I ask people on here that are like, "Oh, why are you asking me that?" But
Is this okay? I was gonna say, is this a Nardwar moment? No.
yeah, it's like it's a difficult question, and I know you'll probably change your mind in a couple of days because everybody does. But in the moment, if you could have dinner with any 3 people in history, whether they be in music or anything, who do you think it would be?
Dinner.
Yep.
Fancy steakhouse dinner.
Wow, I'm a simple eater too. I'm a chicken fingers and French fries guy.
I'm sure they have that on the menu.
There's a lot.
Absolutely.
Here's a fun fact. Dinner. Wow, but that'd be an embarrassing dinner if I actually had the opportunity. One, I could say Barack Obama.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I was gonna say that'd be cool if it was like the Barack and Michelle, you know, it was like a package deal. But if not, I go first with Barack Obama. The other, I'd say
he's like, can I bring my wife? You're like, I guess we could fit another. We'll do four guests.
You got to go to.
Well, we've only got these 3 seats. Well, you're married. Sit on his lap.
You got to hit up if you were doing Obama. You got to hit up the Border Cafe because he's crazy about nachos. He said several times.
Okay.
He likes nachos. So.
All right, I love chicken nachos, so that could work. We can make that work.
Yeah.
Also, who else? I would say Jay-Z.
Okay.
Jay-Z, just
Obama and Jay-Z.
What's that?
Obama and Jay-Z. Okay, we're off to a good start here. This
automatically a good dinner.
Interesting dinner here.
Yeah, I would just eat my chicken nachos and absorb knowledge.
I don't know what Jay-Z eats though. I don't know if he likes nachos. I'm sure he does. He doesn't like nachos. You know what I mean?
Jay-Z has this big issue with nachos.
He's like, I don't eat nachos at all. It's like, come on, man.
Nachos are so universal.
It's Barack Obama.
So universal.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's see. Wow. I get one more person to eat dinner with. Now I'm just kind of assuming that they're all going to get along. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. That's one. It might leave me thinking for a few days because I might say something and go, "Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Sorry, you got to get out of that seat. I got to give that seat to this person."
Exactly.
Just got bumped.
But I would say, wow, probably Common.
Wow.
Okay. Sweet.
So we got Barack Obama, Jay-Z, and Common eating nachos.
Yeah,
I feel like Jay-Z and Common are like, they're just spitballing. They're talking about all kinds of cool stuff. And Obama's like, well, listen about this now.
Like, listen about this policy.
And I'm over here just like, listen, these nachos are amazing. And look, I'm a promoter. If I can do anything to help promote what you guys are doing, not that my voice is nearly even close to theirs, but
maybe we'll have Barack Obama on the podcast in the future. He seems cool
something.
Enough.
I don't think I'd have a seat at that table.
I could listen to Obama speak all day long. He has a magic voice.
Yeah, he's a great speaker, a very eloquent speaker, and I think he inspired a lot of people. You know, he still is inspiring people, not inspired, but I was one of them, so I definitely would appreciate. And
he's sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say he's like he's so level-headed too. Like someone like he's giving a speech about something. Someone in the audience was protesting. They just shouted out. It was just like blah 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 blah. It was like something they're protesting against, and he didn't lose his cool. He's like, oh no, she raises some good points, and she kept talking. It's like, oh wait a minute, part of democracy is you speaking now, you let me speak, and he's really cool and polite. He's not abrasive at all. You know what I mean? So
it's funny you mention that because I was actually thinking of that exact experience recently.
Oh, get out of
exact moment. Yeah, I'm very serious.
No kidding.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool because we can see how the current president is lashing out.
Yeah, it's like almost childish in a way.
That's not a good look as an American. No. That's not a good look. It doesn't feel good, to know that.
It's like
I have friends around the world and seeing some of their comments and their friends' comments and stuff about America, it's like we either bow our head or try to do something to improve our reputation. Because like you said earlier, how people used to look at Lynn, people used to look at America, some still do. It's the land of opportunity, it's you can make the dream happen here. And some people are looking at it like, I don't know. It might not be a lucid dream. If I'm not in control of that dream, then I don't know how it's going to pan
Right.
out.
And that's one thing with Obama you had that was just like, he knew how to speak to people. And like, it's just like, at least, like Derek has said before, at least he was, he wasn't abrasive. He, maybe a little influential.
Different styles. I think we have a style that, abrasive. That's polite.
Yeah.
For what we have now.
Right.
But that's awesome. Yeah. So I don't want to take up your whole day, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, appreciate you having me, man. I seen a couple of episodes you guys have. I think it's really cool. Like I mentioned to you before, we're going to be kicking off not so much a podcast, but something similar. I'll keep you guys in tune with it.
Yeah, man. Keep us in the loop. Let's kind of collaborate in the future, man. Once this all blows over, when we can actually go outside again, maybe we can
when they'll let us go outside and play.
Yeah,
One last thing, if I can mention, that we have a documentary in the works. We got invited to be a part of Jacob Lawrence, his exhibit at the PBD Essex Museum in February. So FNS Studios and Rec Shop Movement is working on a documentary. It'll be a 4 or 5 part episode series, and we'll have a trailer out in the next couple of weeks. So I just want to let people know to be aware that that's coming out so they can tune in. Jacob Lawrence is he's an African-American artist that he got his start painting the Migration series when he was about 23 years old, and he just did that and gained national recognition. This is like some hip-hop stuff right here. He used cardboard and paint for his platform. That's all he needed, and gained national recognition. So the fact that we got invited to be a part of that exhibit was a big deal for us, and we wanted to do a documentary to continue to honor his legacy, and also keep the conversation going around the American struggle.
That's sick,
amazing, man. That's awesome.
Thank you guys for the opportunity, man, for inviting me to be a part of this.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks so much. Honestly, thank you for being you and what you're doing. It's amazing. Stay safe and stay healthy, bro.
Likewise. You guys too.
See you, dude.
All right, take care.
All right. Later.
Later.